2. We are live. Episode 4. Episode 4, Jack.
Let's go. It's episode 4 of the No One Told Me Hockey podcast with myself, Jack, and my boy Fletcher. How we doing today? Give me the rundown on the day. What it look like?
We are doing good. A little bit of recruiting this morning. Saw a great game. One team went up 3-0 quick. Other team battled back, made it 4-3, 4-4 late in the game. Overtime victory. It was a good game to watch. Always makes the recruiting a little bit easier when the game's going good.
So have you got into, like, after games, have you gone in and, like, talked to the coach and pulled out kids out of the locker room? Are you doing that?
Yeah. It's in my job, so it's part of the responsibility. A little nerve-wracking the first time I did it.
Is
it?
But
yeah. Oh, yeah. But now I'm a little bit more comfortable with it, which is nice.
What about, like, is there any kids that you've dealt with that can't carry a conversation with you?
Yeah, there's a lot of kids that are nervous. I wouldn't say necessarily like can't hold the convo. I would say more like it's like a nervous talk. Like,
okay,
oh, the game went good and we got pucks deep versus like how did the game actually go?
Right. Like, how are you doing personally?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So speaking of recruiting, I gotta ask. So Fletcher told me earlier in the week he's a local celebrity around campus. So please just give the story on how you became a local celebrity during the week.
Yeah, this was a first. Shout out to the No One Told Me podcast nation. There was a tour this weekend, so I had 2 kids on a tour. We're walking around the dorms, kind of showing them campus a little bit, and I see this guy kind of walking toward me, and he was like, came right up to me during the tour. He's like, "Are you the guy from TikTok?" And I was like, yes. I mean, we do have a TikTok. He's like, "Oh my God, like me and my buddies follow your guys' stuff. Like, it's so awesome. Like, keep it up the great work." I was like, thanks so much. And then I realized, like, I need to now explain this to the 2 kids that are on the tour.
You're doing TikTok dances is what they think.
Yeah, the one kid looks at me, he's like, "Are you on TikTok?" I was like, no. Like, me and my buddy do a podcast. Like, we post clips from the video and the podcast on TikTok.
You got to shut that down right away on what you do on TikTok, because there's a very fine line on TikTok between doing stuff that's a little suspect versus like putting out decent information for people to use.
Yeah, a huge shout out to the guy for coming up to me. I mean, that was awesome, but a little nerve wracking.
I'm waiting for my first celebrity sighting.
You got to put yourself in a good like environment, like go to a youth tournament or something.
Right. I'm not in a good area. Sitting in an office all day is not in the right spot to get recognized.
I don't think any of your fellow engineers are watching hockey TikToks.
I hope they're not. I really hope they're not.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome. All right, so I'll give you a little intro on my morning. So I did something out of the box today, and because now that I'm making these videos and stuff, and I want to get a little bit more dynamic besides, just doing talking head things. A talking head, by the way, is where you're in front of the camera, kind of how we're filming right now. You just talk and give advice. So that's what I do for the TikTok. Follow Hockey 8 on TikTok. So I usually do those for my videos, and I kind of want to get a little bit more dynamic with them, and I want to start doing more on ice stuff. So today I went to the 6 a.m. stick and puck.
Nice.
I already knew it. I knew there was going to be, I thought for sure maybe like 2 people, and I'm like, fine, like they can go on one half. Maybe I'll take the other half and just film. There was 7 people out there, and I felt a little uncomfortable setting up the tripod and recording my videos, but I kept telling myself, I was like, no one really cares at the end of the day what you're doing.
No one cares.
They're not going to remember it as soon as you leave the rink or as soon as they leave. Like, it's right out of their head, even if they even think about it in the first place. But me, I was in my head the whole time.
I was going to say, okay, that's one way to look at it. Or they're recording their podcast tonight and they're like, there was some weirdo with a tripod at the other side of the ice.
Right, dude. They're just trying to like get a good little workout in, work on like a little bit of their skating. And I got this hardo in the corner recording his videos.
No, I respect that. I'm glad that you did that. That was a good skate. It was 7 people. That was our goalie?
No. So I think there was only one guy like fully dressed. Then there was a guy running skills lesson with this kid, and then the rest were kind of just shooting around. No goalie, but I was surprised. 6 a.m., 7 people out there. I thought for sure there would only be like two, especially
Nice.
here where it's not really a hockey hotbed. Some might say Utah, like it, not too many people play hockey out here, so I was a little surprised. But
Now, did you take a quarter of the ice? What'd you end up doing?
yeah, so I was next to the guy who was running the private on the one end, so I was blue line in, and then like half of that, so half of it.
Nice.
So it was a little awkward setting up the tripod and stuff, but I was like, you know what, I'm going for it. I don't care,
No,
whatever.
I love it. I love it. And
And
worst
now I'm
comes to
happy.
worst, worst
Now I'm
comes to worst,
happy.
they're going to
Go
be
ahead.
on their. I was saying, worst comes to worst, they're going to be on their podcast roasting you. So
A lot of people have podcasts. You got to watch out. But I'm happy I got the videos now. Now that I'm done with it, so it was worth it. Now I just got to put them together.
that's great. That's great.
Are you doing anything this weekend?
We got a
You got
home.
games?
Yeah, one home game on Saturday. A lot of homework though too. So obviously we talked still in school, graduate school. So bunch of homework this weekend. Some
You're
do
back.
Sunday
Is
night.
this the first week of school now? Back?
Yeah, this is the first full week back. So a lot of work to do.
How does it feel going from Christmas break, having obviously you coach, so you have some responsibility, but not very many responsibilities, to it all just starting back up at once?
I think it's nice. It's nice to stay busy. But
Hmm.
as I was telling my cousin the other night, like it is endless work. Like I could just keep working because you
Yeah,
kind of do it at your own pace. Then you got to like talk to the teacher and such. But it is endless work, but it's nice and I enjoy it. So it keeps me
yeah.
busy. Busy's good.
That's the thing about college. Like it feels as soon as you submit your assignments, whenever they're due, they just assign for the next week,
Yeah.
and it's just an endless cycle until the semester's over.
No, it feels good now. But the one thing that I find pretty appealing about the work world is you leave that office at 5 or 6 and you're for the most part done.
Right. Yeah, so that's one thing I'm big on. I think our generation's a little bit different than our parents, where our generation is kind of like get the 40 hours in and get out, where I think is their generation was, that was not their life, but that was, it consumed a lot of their time, and they were willing to put in the work. Whereas I think our generation is kind of like, this isn't gonna like define me.
Yeah.
But so for me, I try to go with that motto, follow our generation, and I put in the work when I'm there, but like I'll stay extra if I have to do my work, but for the most part I want to get it done within my designated 40 hours that I'm paid to do. So
Yeah.
it is nice leaving and not having to worry about it. The only thing about my job is though, so I'm an engineer and we run simulations, and so these simulations will stop at like certain times in the day, like on a weekend, and you'll have to start up another one. So you'll have it done by Monday. So that does kind of stink that you have to worry about like some cases over the weekend. But overall, for the most part, yeah, you're not doing homework at 9 o'clock at night.
I was.
Rookie move, phone going off.
I know
Rookie
what is
move.
going on.
Oh my god, you're not ready.
That's weird. That's okay. Regardless, back to you. First of all, you lost me at simulations, so that's probably why I started looking at my computer laptop going off. But
Yeah,
more importantly, now these simulations, right? The first thing I think of when I hear simulation is like a flight simulator. Like what? Can you walk me through like a brief elevator pitch of your
sure.
task?
I actually have an NDA, so I had to sign an NDA, so I can't say everything, but I'm
Okay,
obviously not going to.
fair.
But we run simulations for power plants to make them more efficient, because like the government sets standards on like how much they can emit into the ozone or whatever. So we work with those companies to bring down their emissions through simulations. We like simulate their setup that they have,
Okay,
and we introduce new technology to bring their emissions down.
okay.
So it's like, yeah, they're pretty much mathematical simulations, but
Oh,
they're really challenging, and once you get the hang of it, they can be fun, but they are challenging for sure.
oh, that's cool. That's really
Yeah,
cool. Not as cool
yeah.
as not as cool as hockey though.
No, no, hockey's a little bit more fast paced, which is a
Yes.
good change up. I actually had a kid today. It was kind of cool. He's from Utah. I posted a video yesterday, and he recognized the rink, so he DM'd me and he was like, "Hey, are you from Utah?" And I was like, "Yeah." Whatever. So we got to talking. He's like, "Yeah, I'm actually like really interested in going to Milwaukee School of Engineering." And I'm like, and like just such a small world. I was like, dude, you absolutely should. It's such a great place. Whether you play hockey there or not, great school. So that was kind of cool to have like the Utah Milwaukee connection going out here in the West Coast.
It's really cool. The hockey world is so small. Even in the game that I was watching today, I recognized the last name. So I
Mhm.
searched this kid in the lineup and then online. It was the little brother of a kid that I played with. That I
Oh,
was
you
now,
see that a lot. Like you'll just see a last name. You're like, I know that last name. It's got to be his younger brother,
yeah,
and it usually is. It usually is.
it's a small world out there. That's why you got to behave.
Always, always. All right, so let's get into it. So we were talking earlier today, kind of reliving our glory days, some might say, and this topic got brought up. I want you to give me the rundown on your first junior hockey goal because it is a big one. It's a big step from youth hockey to junior. I'm sure you still got the puck with the tape on it.
It is. I do still have the puck with the tape on it. It is at home. It is in Florida.
Yeah.
I probably should have them send it up to me so I could frame it for my own good here.
Show all the guys in the locker room.
I was going to say everybody probably wants to see it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the story is actually a great story. It probably involves me going over the weekend a little bit.
All right.
Made me a little special. So we had talked about a little bit in an earlier podcast that when I first arrived to junior, I was a little in and out of the lineup. Like I wasn't certain if I was going to stick. My college coaches weren't certain if I was going to stick. Ended up sticking, but I was not producing offensively. I didn't really produce offensively. That wasn't really my game throughout juniors and college, but you do get one every now and then. So the whole season went by. I think the goal came in game 50, 51 maybe, or something like that. There's only like a 60 game season. Yeah. So there were some chances early on, but anyway, we go to the weekend. We're playing the Kenai River Brown Bears. That is Jack's old team, but Jack was currently on my team for this weekend. So the Friday night comes. Jack, I'm not going to name the player just for like privacy reasons, but there was a player on Springfield that was traded to Kenai that was having a great year in Kenai. Okay. That player lived in my billet house the year before I did. So we'll follow that a little bit. The all-star on Kenai lived in my billet house before I did. So on Friday night, we lose the game, I think like 6-1.
Really? 6-1?
Yeah, we got crushed.
Oh, wow.
It was something. Maybe it was 5-2. I don't know. We got crushed.
Still. Yeah. And
I had probably one of the worst turnovers I had in my whole hockey career that day.
Like, is it on the website?
It should be on Instat. It should be. That's my worst action of all time. Okay, so anyway, I get it in the slot. I try to handle it, which you shouldn't do. Young D out there, simple and quick. Anyway, I turn it over. This all-star who lived in my billet house the year before is the guy who scores. So not only am I upset about that, I'm more so upset that my parents from Florida have made the trip up for the weekend.
That's the worst when the parents are there for a weekend and you just don't have it.
Horrible. Yeah.
So awkward dinner that night. It's never good.
Not good. To make things even worse, after the game, the billet mom who had both me and the guy who scores looks me and my parents dead in the eyes and goes, "Oh, I'm sure, insert name, really enjoyed that turnover." And I was like, oh my gosh. It was horrible. Ruthless. I think my parents were going to freak out. Anyway, we kind of shrug it off. Horrible night. So now we roll into the Saturday. I'm praying that I'm even in the lineup. Yep. I do make it in the lineup late in the game. We ended up winning that one big. Player sends it into the slot. I get it. Kind of throw it on net. 5-hole in the net. Jack was there. Jack was on the ice.
Ice burner? You put an ice burner 5-hole?
It may have hit a couple shin pads. Anyway, I think I closed my eyes, shot it, hoped it went in. It went in. And then that night, me, Jack, and another one of our friends went to Chili's and took some pictures with the puck at Chili's. I think I still have those somewhere.
The puck?
Yeah, it was the puck and some chips, and we were smiling.
Oh, a picture of it?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I would love to see that. And that was with your parents too, right?
And that was with our parents, yeah. So that was the first one.
Was that your Was that your birthday or no?
Yes,
Was
it
that why they
was.
were
It was
there?
yes, my birthday was the Friday. My birthday was the night of the turnover.
Oh, that's a great birthday present.
Yeah, that was a great birthday present. But yeah, I think to where the story kind of comes full circle is there was only like 8 or so games left that year.
Mhm.
Um played pretty solid through the rest of it. And then the next season, I started great. I had like a goal in the first game, and I remember one of our teammates said to me, he was like, "Oh, like took you took you 51 less games this year to get the first one."
That
So
the
it felt
first one's
good.
always nerve-wracking. One of my buddies in college, great guy, I was roommates with him. He didn't get his first goal till senior year.
That's exciting though. That's an exciting
Oh,
goal.
I know, and he tried. He had so many opportunities, like, in good areas and just totally biffed them.
Oh,
But that is a good monkey to get off your back. So I'll give mine.
yeah, I
This
was
is
I want to hear yours.
my first year of playing juniors. Um, I was on Kenai, and we started off the season pretty good. And a kid stole my goal game two of me playing. I was actually pretty pissed about that because that would have been a nice one to get off my back. But
Wait. He stole your goal?
yeah, like it was going in the net, and
Okay.
he tipped it
Okay.
pretty much. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
And that was at the showcase too. Could have been a game changing goal for the whole career.
I'd say wait, can you talk a little bit about what the showcase is for listeners?
Okay, so at the beginning of the year for the North American Hockey League, they have what is called the NAHL Showcase, and every team from the league goes to Blaine, Minnesota. So what is there? There's like 28 teams, maybe more now. I'm not sure how
Yeah,
many
around
there
there.
are. And so every team in the whole league is there, and you usually go cross division matchup. So you'll play 4 games on the weekend. You usually start on Thursday and you play all the way through Sunday, and like every college is there. And then there's definitely pro guys there, but I'm not going to say for sure that like every NHL team is there because I doubt it. But there's a lot of scouts in the building, and there's games going all day. If you've ever been to Blaine, it's 8 rinks, and then they also have a youth showcase at the same time on the back 4 rinks. So it's just a massive showcase where you get some really good exposure, especially as an NA guy. Like that is a big deal at the beginning of the year. And it's nerve wracking too. And the rosters aren't finalized, so you still have what I think you have that 25 guys or 26 you can still have on the roster at that time.
Yeah,
So there's quite a few guys getting scratched because it's so early in the season. So it's a battle, but those are great games to play in, and they're intense, and there's a lot of people watching, a
I
lot
think
of lot of scouts watching.
I think a really cool showcase experience that I had was I had played in it twice as a North American League player and once as the NAPHL player when I was in Omaha playing U16.
Yeah,
And
same.
all 3 of those years, I was already committed to Union, and those my Union staff were watching those
Hmm.
games. I mean, they have somebody there. That's a great showcase for them to be at. A ton of D1 schools are there, and like Jack said,
Yep.
pro and D3. In this past year, I went as a scout for my school. So now
Oh, really?
so now I'm watching the game with my Union staff. We sat next to each other, like had a good time, and I'm thinking they're like, man, like just like 6 or 7 years ago, I was like freaking out nervous that you guys were watching,
Oh,
and now
yeah.
I'm watching with you, which is cool.
Do you remember, like, getting ready for those games? It felt like the whole world was watching, and it, like, meant so much. It felt like it was, like, make or break. Like, this is the one time some of these scouts are gonna get to see you for your whole year or your
Yeah,
whole junior career maybe too, because there's so many games.
yeah,
That's like, this is make or break. Like, you gotta make something of it. That was a lot of pressure going to those games. But it
absolutely,
was cool experience too to go there and do that.
absolutely. Okay, back to your story. Back to your story. So null
Okay,
showcase.
that's a great little rundown though. So I was playing on Kenai, and we started off the year hot. I should whatever better, and then all of a sudden we go on the road, and our road trips in Alaska. When you live in Alaska, you go on the road for quite a while, because you're traveling to Minnesota. So you'll like go to these places and play like multiple teams. So you'll be on the road for like 5 weeks. So we go on the road trip. We win our first game, and it's a 12 game road trip. So we win the first game, then we lose the second game, and then we just keep losing and keep losing and keep losing. Thankfully, we had Christmas break to stop the momentum, and we just kept losing. So end up going on a 13-game losing streak,
Ooh,
and
ooh.
they were all on the road,
All
and then
13 losses are on the road.
yeah,
It's not
except for
fun.
so then we come home and we're playing against Cooley Region. I don't even think they're a team anymore.
I think
And
it's called the Chippewa Steel now.
yeah, right. So we're playing them. We lose the first game on Friday night. So we're now at a 14-game losing streak. So Saturday night rolls around and we're tied 3-3 in the third period, and we're late in the third, and there's probably like 40 seconds left on the clock. I don't even know why I'm out there right now. Like, we have D that are better than me, but I'm out there somehow with our best forwards, and the forward walks around the back of the net. My winger got a little lazy, had his back turned towards me, so I went on his opposite side of his back and kind of got one like in the dots in between dots slot area and buried a ice burner 5-hole to snap
Nice.
with 9 seconds left to snap the 14 game losing streak.
That I thought you were gonna say I shoot and then they score and we lose. And the next game,
No, yeah, no, yeah, I broke it with 9 seconds left,
oh,
and
that is great.
it was like game like 35 for me, I think, or yeah, probably like 32.
That is great.
So that was awesome. But you know what? It kind of still wraps. For some reason, I like think of random things like that. Just I can't. It's not that I can't let it go. It's just something I always just like think of. You know how they give out like the whatever? We'll just say hard hat for the team if you
Didn't get
win.
it.
I didn't get it because dude, a kid came back from injury that game,
Oh my
and
gosh.
so they gave it to him. I was like, not that I really care, but I was like, are you kidding me? Like, score my first goal and snapped a 14-game losing streak, and
Oh my
I don't get the
gosh.
bear.
Oh my gosh. So
And
if you're listening out there and you were a member of the 2001 Kenai Black Bears,
yeah,
2000, the 2011,
2000,
whatever it was, the
2015 Kenai River Black
2015
Bears.
Kenai River Brown Bears,
I snapped
go
the streak.
go to Home Depot, buy a hard hat, and we'll send it to Jack.
Please, I have actually during my college and junior career, I think I only got that like award one or two times in my whole career because I wasn't like a goal scorer, and like that's usually who it goes to, right?
Oh
It's
yeah.
either the goalie or whoever scores more than one goal is
Yes.
pretty
Yeah.
much who it
It goes
goes
back
to.
and forth between the two
Yeah,
pretty frequently.
yeah, yep. It's like three guys that it just rotates around through,
We
and
had
one
a
of them's a goalie. One
we
of
had
them's always the goalie.
my sophomore year, maybe my junior year, sophomore year, I think. We had this like really cool Spartan helmet,
Hmm.
and I never got it, but the people who did get it, it looked great.
Look cool.
It looked great,
I
but it was this
wanted it.
really cool Spartan, like old Spartan helmet, like a shield, and you'd put like a
That is
sticker
cool.
on the shield. It was cool. It was cool. I never
Was
got
was
it, but
was the helmet metal? Like
I,
actual metal?
I can't say I touched it, but it looked like it looked like a plastic mat. Maybe.
It's like the Stanley Cup. You don't touch it unless you get it.
I was gonna
So
say I'm not
Fletcher
touching.
never even
Wait,
sniffed
wait, wait.
it.
I'm gonna insert a pet peeve here. This
Okay.
whole like the average person like can't touch the Stanley Cup thing. Like,
I
I'm
know.
sorry if you go to the Hall of Fame in Toronto, like touch the thing, like take a picture with it. Like
Right.
it's not there's maybe I
Especially
don't know.
if you're like a 50-year-old guy or like woman, put your hands all over that thing.
Yeah,
You
it's like
it's
Joe. It's like Joe from like West Virginia is like, no, I'm not touching it. I may win it still. It's like Joe, your men's league team's not winning the Stanley Cup.
no, Joe, you're in finance.
Yeah,
You do roofing,
yeah.
Joe. You do roofing. You're
Is
not gonna
is kid
work
like
for
his kid's like, Dad, like, will you take a picture of me? Like, no, I'm not touching it. It's like, okay, Joe, relax.
relax. Yeah, it's a cool thing to do for sure. Like if you are like actually like in the hockey world and like you're striving for that goal, I understand it, right?
Yeah.
But as just like an average person, just touch it. How about this? How about the guy Salt Bay with the World Cup?
Oh my
Did you
gosh.
see him? Did you see him
He's
with
like,
all those pictures and stuff? That was crazy.
he's like trying to get in every single picture. It's like, buddy, just because you make a nice steak doesn't mean you need to be taking a picture with Ronaldo or Messi. Sorry, soccer fans. God forbid I messed that up. Sorry,
Just lost half
messy.
our listeners.
I know. It's just how
Oh,
could I ever do that? But
he
regardless,
was
see,
li-
ridiculous.
he was like stealing the trophy from like a player who won the World Cup. Their kid was holding on to it, and he took it out of the kid's hand
Yes,
to get a picture with it. It was absurd.
it's outrageous.
That guy's a clown. All right.
Outrageous.
Speaking of road trips, though, so like I said, we used to go on really long road trips for when I played on Kenai. So what do you do on road trips when you whether it's a bus or a plane? What's your go to things on a road trip?
So I would say when I was younger, it was a lot of Netflix. Like we would watch like I don't know whatever series was out, maybe Game of
Mhm.
Thrones or whatever. As I got older, like through juniors, probably I started reading because a couple of the guys on the team read. I don't know. I mean, now I'm really into reading. So currently I read on the bus, but uh, I think back it kind of progressed. Like I did Netflix and stuff, and now I'm into books. So
How
kind of
can
a
you
mix of
how
those.
you don't get motion sick or anything when you read on the bus?
No, it doesn't bother me.
Oh man, it drives me nuts. For some reason, I can look at my phone for 3 hours, but as soon as I crack open my computer or try to read a book, do anything productive, I get motion sick
What I think's
on the
crazy
bus.
now, what I think's crazy now is like everybody everybody's on their phone watching their own thing. Like some of my best memories was like a bus movie
Oh
or
yeah.
and not even that we're watching the movie, more so like we're maybe shitting on the movie that a coach picked or something.
Oh,
But
that's
like
the best. That's the best.
just like the atmosphere of like what is going on in this film or like this movie
Our
sucks like
Our
versus
college team was big movie guys.
I
So
like
like
that.
guys in the back of the bus were so dialed into the movies on the screen. I would watch them, but I wasn't like that into it. But some of these guys were quoting like every line out of all these movies.
I don't
Yeah, we had some big movie buffs.
I don't remember if it was in college or in junior. But one night, like I woke up, I think I had fallen asleep. It was post game. We were driving either home or to the next location. And all of a sudden I heard like a full on like gunfight. And it was like 3 a.m.,
Yeah.
full war movie going on, full volume. And I was like,
Yeah.
what is going
Oh yeah.
on?
Dude, some of them are so loud. The worst is when you're trying to do like homework or something and the movie's so loud you can't even focus or anything.
Yep.
Did you do homework on the bus? Because I personally I did not like doing homework on the bus. So I would either do it like when I got home on Sunday, I was able to manage my time so I could just do it all on Sunday, or I would do some on the road, like on Saturday mornings. What would you do?
It's a good question. I tried not to, but to be honest, like as homework picked up toward the end of this like senior year, junior year finals, like that I was doing it on the bus a little bit. Like I wrote, I mean, I did my thesis. I mean, I had to write on the bus. Like you couldn't just
Quick
waste.
bus thesis. A quick
Yeah,
bus
you
thesis.
couldn't. Yeah,
How
yeah.
many how many people in your program do you think wrote their thesis on the bus?
To be honest, I think a lot of people did work on the bus. Like there, to a certain degree, like I don't know if a road trip's like 6 hours, like that's a valuable 6 hours.
It is.
Like I can't
It
just
is.
I can't just watch like I don't know Love Island for 6 hours. Like I can't.
I know you gotta at least be productive for like a third of that trip.
Yes,
For like
yes,
the first maybe 2 hours or like the two in between. I don't know. You just got to be productive for a little bit of that trip.
yeah.
Knock something out.
We did a little bit. We
It,
did a little bit of cards. I don't know. Did you guys do cards?
yeah, we had guys who played cards. I wasn't really into it because I was in the spot, like I was in the back towards, but then I would have to stand up, and
Yeah.
I'm not standing up for
No.
2 hours playing cards. One, it's a safety hazard. Two, I don't want to stand up
Were
for
you ever a,
2 hours.
were you ever a floor sleeper?
Oh yeah, especially in juniors, because our road trips in college weren't that long, so I would just sleep on my chair, like lay across. But in juniors, when I was playing in Topeka, we had some long bus trips, like down to Corpus Christi. We would have it was like a I don't even like 13-hour bus trip. So I had the full yoga mat, I had my pillow, my blanket, lay that right across the floor down there, and I would get full nights of sleep with that yoga mat.
Oh, yeah. I think when I was in, I mean, when we were in Springfield, this is together. I want to say our shortest trip was probably to Janesville, which was like 4.5, 5 hours, depending on where the bus was going. But if we were
True.
playing in Cloquet, Minnesota, We would leave the
Yeah,
day of the game.
true.
That's like a 13-hour bus ride, and then we play at nighttime. So like you had to sleep on the bus.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that because Springfield was, like, right in the middle of Illinois, and there was no other team around, like, the closest teams were probably, like yeah, like you said, Janesville,
Topeka,
Topeka, and so everyone el and then 2 Kenai and Fairbanks are in Alaska, and
Alaska.
then you got Cooley, so yeah,
That's
that was a spread
crazy.
out division. That's true, we did take very long bus trips on that. Yeah, I was a huge lay on the floor guy with the yoga mat. Did you
One
use
of
a
my
yoga mat too?
Yeah, I would do yoga mat, sometimes do pillow, blanket, depended. But one of the craziest bus situations I was ever in was when I played U16. The U16 team and the U18 team would travel on the same bus.
Oh,
So
that's a lot of
all
bodies.
it's a lot of bodies. All U16 on the right side, all U18 on the left side. And we
Mhm.
bust from Omaha to Detroit, which
Oh,
is
how
like
far is that?
that's
How
like
far
I
is
want to say I'm gonna look it up right now. I want to say it's 14 hours.
Yeah, let's take our guesses. I'm thinking, okay, Omaha, Nebraska. I couldn't even pinpoint Omaha in Nebraska, I don't think.
Okay, so
Wait, don't tell me. I think it's 1322.
okay, it's pretty close. All right, with this isn't a normal car, so you got to
Oh,
say a
true.
bus isn't flying over 80 miles an hour. A bus is like
I hope not.
strictly 60.
Yeah.
So right here it says 11 hours and 8 minutes, no stops. So you got to say with
Oh,
with one or two stops, I mean probably more. But I was sitting. I literally sat like you're like sardines in there, and our coach
were
would
you
our coach laid down like on a mattress. So when we'd stop, we'd have to like step over him. It was like never wake him up.
wait, he had a mattress?
Yeah, he would like bring like a mattress and like lay on it.
What, like a twin size?
Yeah, like on the stairs, like kind of sloped down on the stairs.
No way.
You
No
swear,
way.
swear,
Do you have a blanket and pillow?
probably. I don't remember. It's like 8 years
So
ago.
okay, so that's funny because every other coach that I've seen on bus trips, they sit up the whole time.
I mean, I do that
Do you
now.
notice that? Right, you can't lay
No,
what minus him, you can't lay down as a coach.
no, you can put
That's
the feet
not
up. You can
that's
put the feet up,
yeah,
but it depends.
right, you can't I don't think as a coach, I don't think it's a good look if you're laying down. I think you might lose some guys there
Now, what
if you
is? I have a question for you.
okay.
What is the longest road trip you've ever been on?
Okay, so this is actually part of the losing streak. So it was a
Okay,
great time to travel. So we got back. What we would do in Kenai is at Christmas break we would take a road trip and then we would be responsible for getting ourselves home from the place that we were playing. And then when we would come back, we would also be playing on the road. So it just made travel a little bit easier for guys instead of having to fly up to Alaska. It would make it easier for guys to get back with the team.
okay.
So we were playing in Pennsylvania after Christmas, so we flew to Pennsylvania, lost 4 games straight, and we had to travel from Pennsylvania all the way to Alaska.
Oh,
And I don't know how long it was. It had to have been, I think, because we had long layovers too.
I was gonna
Oh
say you
man, it
flew.
had
You
to have
flew. You
been.
had to have flown.
Yeah, we flew. We flew. So we'd fly from like Pennsylvania. I don't know if it was direct to Seattle and then Seattle to Anchorage, and then we would bus from Anchorage down to Kenai.
That's a long one.
So we got home, I think, at 5 a.m. on Monday morning, and
Okay,
we left Saturday night.
so
So
it's
it
a
was
day
over
and a half.
24 hours. Yeah,
Wow.
but guess the best part.
Practice the next day
W- No, we skated when we got home
at 5 a.m.
from. Yep, we put on our gear and skated. All of our gear was wet,
Like skated as
cold.
in like goal line.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, not even kidding. We
Oh my gosh.
He's like, as soon as we landed in Anchorage and got on the bus, because then it's like a 2.5 hour bus ride to Kenai. He told us that we're putting our gear on when we get home.
So was that the you just said we were putting your gear on? Or was like we're skating? Like what
Yeah,
did he say? And
pretty much,
how
pretty
quick did the
much.
stomach drop?
Oh, it was terrible.
Oh,
Granted, it was like 9 years ago now, so I don't remember it too well. But yeah, longest trip of my life, and then you got to throw your wet gear on when you get home. The guys who got scratched on Saturday were like, "Thank God, all my gear's
dry.
dry. I'm ready to go. Like, no problem for me. I'll throw it right on."
Oh, that is great. That is great.
Yeah.
I
How
would
about you? How about you?
So that is actually kind of cool. My longest road trip ever, my freshman year, we played in the Belpot in Ireland.
Oh yeah.
So we flew over there. It was us, BU, Yale, and UConn. We flew over there on like a Saturday,
Hmm.
stayed the week, and flew back on a Sunday.
Oh,
And we
were
won
you in
the.
Dublin the whole time?
We were in Belfast.
Oh,
Belfast,
you were in
yeah.
Belfast. Okay.
It was
Wow.
awesome. It was awesome.
What rink did you play out there?
The Belfast Giants rink. It's like a team in the. I think it's the English league. But it's
Oh, they have a
beautiful.
pro team up there?
Yeah, Belfast Giants, unreal fans. It was awesome. It was like such a great time. We won the tournament too, which was great.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was so fun.
Oh, wow. Dang. How long did you guys have a layover anywhere or was it direct?
So we bussed from Union to Newark, which is like 3 hours, about two and a
Hmm.
half, 3 hours. And then we customs, I mean, we were there like 2 or 3 hours early. And then
Yeah.
it was like a 6 hour flight on the way there. I think it was like an 8 hour flight on the way back, but we flew
Mm.
into Dublin. We flew into
Dublin.
Dublin and then drove from Dublin to Belfast. That's not a short drive. At least I don't
No.
think it is. Like
Bel or Dublin's like I'm not even gonna try to be a geography guy right now.
it
Dublin's on the
is.
east side of Ireland. I know that.
It's
I was
105
just
105 miles. So that's, I mean, an hour and 50 minutes.
okay. So I got to ask you this about Ireland. So I went there this summer, right, with my whole family, and we had a sprinter van. Shout out to my grandma. We had a sprinter van,
Nice.
and okay, how narrow are those roads
Oh my
there?
god, it feels like you're driving through the Hobbit. Like literally imagine Game of Thrones or the Hobbit. That is
Yeah,
the landscape of the roads.
it's crazy. And you were in a coach bus,
No,
so
we
you
weren't even in
guys
a
are
coach bus.
literally
We were in like a tour bus almost. It was a great bus. Like you had the tables kind of, but it wasn't
yeah.
as big as a coach bus. It was like a little bit smaller.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like we couldn't put our gear on it. Our gear went in a different bus.
Oh, I think I've been on one of those. I think
Yeah.
I've been on one of those. It's a little bit, yeah, it's smaller for sure. But even that, like that takes up a lot of the road. And did you go down those roads where people would have to like pull off into the grass almost to
To,
like
I'm trying to think. I'm thinking on the way there. I mean, we flew overnight. I think a lot of us slept in the morning. I slept through. Oh my
oh
gosh, I slept through the first. Me and my roommate slept through the first team event. I like our coach knocked on the door and he was like, "You guys joining us?" I was like, "Yes." Like,
jet
we're making
jet
my
lag.
stuff on as quick as possible. Like, we got our stuff, but I guess two more guys also
Yeah.
slept in,
Probably
so it
jet
wasn't that big.
lagged, right?
Yeah,
Jet
it was
lag.
horrible. The time change.
Dude, that country is unbelievable to drive through.
Oh, so
It
pretty.
is the greenest, coolest thing I've ever been. And you know they have no predators there? Did you know that?
What do you mean predators? Like,
They don't have any animals that can kill you.
I mean, I'm
Like
gonna trust you.
no
I'm gonna trust you on this. I'm in a biology class right now. They're talking about predators being everywhere, but I trust you on this.
I'm serious, dude. Like, because I don't know, for some reason, obviously there's a lot of islands out there, but this island in particular, Ireland, doesn't have like any predators that can really kill you. Like, our guide that was taking us around, he said like the most dangerous animal you're gonna run into is like a deer,
I mean, that.
which is beautiful. I love that because out here in Utah, it is scary to go on hikes out here up in the mountains.
Oh, next thing you know, you're stepping on a rattlesnake trying to escape a coyote. Like, I'm not going
Little
out there.
mountain, no coyote, little mountain lion action, like, yep.
Wait. Do that noise again.
You want me to tell you the story really quick?
Yeah, let me hear it.
So my first week we got here, we went on a hike, and it's a pretty popular area, like kind of by houses, but then it's in a canyon, so it goes off into the woods quite quick. And we're hiking up it, and we stop to talk, and we're talking, and all of a sudden I hear, and I'm like, what? And I stop talking, I just start looking around, and like thinking I heard something. And my girlfriend, she kind of looked at me and she's like, "What are you looking at?" And then I start talking again, and it does it again. It's like makes a crazy. It sounds like a lion snoring. We beelined it down the mountain. We looked up online. Someone spotted a mountain lion there the day before. I'm pretty sure we were right next to a mountain lion on a hike.
Was it nighttime?
No, no, it was daytime. He might have been sleeping. It sounded like maybe like a snore, but it's a scary snore. It's
Oh
not just a
yeah, it's a
normal
scary
snore.
snore.
Dude, it was the freakiest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yes.
Oh my.
So Ireland is the place to go. I was looking up when we went there because I was so amazed by it and like in love with it. Dublin, I love Dublin. I was looking up pro hockey teams in Ireland to play
Yeah,
for.
the Belfast Giants.
Slash engineering jobs there.
I have one friend who actually played with me who one guy actually left Union and played for the Belfast Giants for 2 years, and another
Wow.
one may move there pretty soon. I mean, it's a great
Dude,
spot. It is a great spot.
I've
Titanic
never been
Museum
to.
too.
Really? They
Yeah,
have that there?
Titanic Museum. That's where it took off from. I think
Oh, it took off.
Belfast. I think so.
Oh wow, I didn't know
Yeah,
that. There's a big rivalry because like my grandma's family is from whatever Southern Ireland. So and Belfast is in Northern Ireland, and they got that rivalry still between the people.
yeah, yeah. Then yeah,
So so I feel like I'd be betraying my family a little bit to go up there and play, but that would be unbelievable. Ireland is so cool, and there's so much to do there. The towns are amazing. The history's crazy. So is it
yeah. It says I'm trying. I'm a little
is it
confused here. It says the distance
this is a history podcast.
471 miles, the distance of the journey to deliver Titanic from Belfast, the city that she was built, to Southampton, England. Okay, it was built in
Built.
Belfast, sent to England, took off from England, destination New York, did not make it.
Wow. So I wonder why they built it there. I wonder did England like own
Ireland
Ireland
at the
at that time?
time,
Yeah.
very. I'd have to. We're gonna have to check the Belfast
This is
podcast.
turning into a yeah. Hey guys, if you want to learn about Ireland, just go check out the Belfast
I think I will. I
podcast.
want to address real quickly, like a lot of our last episodes have been very educational, very serious,
Yeah.
especially the last one talked about being scratched and coming back from injury a little bit, and that was a little bit more mundane, so we wanted to make this one a little bit more lively, kind of get on the other spectrum, some road trips, some first goal stories. So that's why
Yeah.
we're a little laid back today.
Right. We're having a little bit more fun, kicking back. So, when you go on road trips, do you have any worries when you're
Yes,
on them? Okay.
yes.
Because I got a big one. You go
Okay,
first though.
so I think that this is more of a story, less so
Okay.
a consistent worry that I have. When I was in U16, my first weekend in Omaha, we played against the Chicago Young Americans, a program that you played for at one point, right?
No,
No, Team
Team
Illinois.
Illinois
Sorry.
only.
So we're playing against CYA, dumb memory by me, and we win the game. I scored a goal, not bad. And after the game, I'm getting undressed, and we're in Chicago, which like I don't know how far it is from Omaha. I think I want to say it's like
Pretty.
5 or 6 hours.
No, it's further than that.
All right,
It's gotta
however
be
long it is.
whatever.
I'm getting undressed, and all of a sudden, my teammates are like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 Fletch! Like, look!" I look down, and my whole leg is like covered in blood. And I was
Oh,
like,
what?
"What is going on?" So I look. Somehow during the game, I got cut with a skate on my inner thigh, like pretty
Oh,
bad. But I
yeah,
didn't realize it because it was dry by the time I took my gear off. So I have
yeah.
this like pretty big slice. I still have the scar. I'm not going to show it. It's weird.
You won't. You won't.
No, I'm
Only
not going to show
fans.
it. I'm
Only fans.
not showing it. So anyway, my parents are there. We're debating like, do we get it stitched up now? Like, do we get it stitched up when I'm back? Like, the bus is leaving pretty soon. So we
Oh, because you're going back home now to Omaha.
back to Omaha. So we end up gluing. I don't even think we glued it, man. I think we just wrapped it up. So we wrapped it up, and I sit on this bus, and now for like 8 hours, I am like panicking, like, oh my God, like, what if this thing gets infected? Like, what is going on right now? Like, did I get my tetanus shot? We make it to Omaha. We go right to the hospital, and they glued it shut. They said they didn't want to stitch it and that everything was okay. But my bus worry, and this is probably my biggest bus worry at the time, was is my leg gonna get gangrene when I'm on this bus for 8 hours because I got sliced in the middle of the game?
Oh my God, that's crazy that you drove all the way home with that.
I know. And the scar's
Oh.
kind of nasty, so we probably should have stitched it up.
Do you think if you okay, so say you didn't wrap that thing at all, right, and you just left it out, do you think you would pick up some sort of disease on a bus?
Likely.
You would have to. I think the odds are like 98%
Yes.
for
Yeah.
sure on one of those seats. You the amount of creatures that sit on those seats has to be absurd.
Yes, I would have been worried, but at least we wrapped it up. And I remember being my billet mom actually met us at the hospital that night. She was great. And she was like, yeah, like you guys probably should have dealt with this there, but we ended up making the decision not
Well,
to.
then,
So
what do you do? Because then, if are they gonna wait around for you
I know they
to?
probably wouldn't. I don't know what they would have done. I think my parents were flying home too.
Yeah, so it's like you're just in Chicago, and so it's kind of like they either have to wait for you or you have to hop on the bus and tough it out until you get home. That's a weird situation.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
we had a kid my freshman year. He broke his leg on the ice. Thankfully, it was Friday though, because he was in the hospital all night. Like if that happened on a Saturday, and
Oh,
we were all the way we were up in northern northern Michigan or Wisconsin, so it's like an 8 hour trip. Like, do we just wait around for that?
yeah.
I don't. What do you do on those type of situations?
I know it's always good. We had a couple of the teams I've been on. We always had somebody that like could play that stay back role. When we were in Ireland,
Mhm.
somebody had passport trouble on our team,
Oh, no
and
way.
our athletic director, he's an amazing man. Almost he volunteered to stay back with this guy, and they ended up clearing him at the last moment. But they were going to be stuck in Ireland.
Oh, I mean, that's not a terrible place to get stuck. I'd rather get stuck there than get stuck going, you know?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
when we were going to Ireland, my mom was freaking out for like 3 months. She's gonna love this one that I'm talking about her on here, but about like 3 months about me and my brother getting COVID tested before we went, and we're like, "No, we're not getting COVID tested because then we're just gonna shoot ourselves in the foot if we do get it." And so we never did. I was like, "If I'm gonna get COVID, I'd rather just get it there and be stuck there for a week."
yeah. Then get it on the way back.
Yeah, then get it going there. But my biggest bus fear. So we were playing. I was in college. We were playing in Vermont. And did you play games in Vermont ever?
Yeah, we played Vermont at Vermont my sophomore year.
Have you ever driven on the Vermont roads?
Yeah, it's like a windy road. I mean, it's pretty close to me now. I only live like an hour from.
True, true. So those roads they're a little bit like Ireland. Like
Yeah,
they are tight. They're tight. They're windy, and there's not much room on those things. And sometimes they go off the side pretty quickly.
yeah.
So we were driving. We had a bus from Vermont. We were playing Middlebury, and we had a bus from there back to Boston to fly out,
Okay.
and that's like a 2.5 hour bus
Yeah.
ride, I
Oh yeah.
think. And it is snowing so hard, and these roads are
Oh
narrow, and me and these cars are flying like coming at us, flying past us, and me and one of my buddies were standing up watching him drive for like an hour because he was all over the road. It was that is oh the it makes me so nervous sometimes to even fall asleep on the bus
yeah.
because I feel like something's gonna happen like driver wise.
That's a fair fear. It's definitely scary. I mean, it's happened a couple times to
Yeah,
recent teams, which is like so horrific and sad. And our prayers
I
from the
know.
podcast are with all those families and friends. But
Yeah,
it is a scary thing. But luckily, I mean, you got your teammates around you, your coaching staff, usually some sort of program contact, and the bus
yeah,
drivers, they do their job for a reason. How about the bus?
yeah. They're pretty good.
The bus I was just on the other week had 1,000,000 miles on it.
What?
Yep.
No way.
Swear. That's how they showed us. Like, it's a certificate. 1,000,000 miles.
What? I didn't even know a bus. I thought what would you think a bus would cap out at on like miles?
I don't know what a car caps out at 100,000.
It depends on the car.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Toyotas, shout out Toyotas. They you can haul some miles on those things, and they are zooming around still. I don't know. I would think like for a bus, I would say like 300,000. It's a bus, so it should be able to go a little bit longer. I was thinking like 300,000 capped out. A million?
1,000,000 miles. That's what they told us. That was what the certificate said.
I don't see a reason to lie about that certificate.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe for like the
there's
bus podcast.
right. You love the other podcast. So I got a story for you about this weekend. So my buddies, they came into town this weekend and we went skiing. 2 days. We went Thursday and Saturday. So on Saturday, one of my buddies, his friends live here as well. So they came and were snowboarding with us. And then some of my other friends who I know from here, they were also skiing we're all at the same resort. And so me and my buddies, we break off from like kind of everyone. Everyone's doing their own thing with their groups. And all of a sudden I get a text from one of our friends saying Emily got hit and she might need ski patrol to pick her up. So and we're like, what the heck? So we were making sure she was okay. She ended up making it down, but she was like she got hit pretty hard and her knee was like pretty messed up. So then we meet back up with like a couple hours later. We meet back up with my buddy's friends who they are not friends with Emily. They don't even know each other like at all. Never met. And this guy, so I get off the lift and my buddy and his friends are behind us and he goes to me when they get off the lift. He goes, "Hey, hey, I think I met your friend Emily earlier." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He hit her. My buddy's friend hit her. What are the odds of two people that one of them I'm friends with, the other one I just met today. What are the odds that one of them smokes the other
Like,
on a ski resort?
oh my god! Wait, they had no idea that they knew each other.
No, they've never even met before. He hit her.
And how busy was the ski resort?
I mean, it's a busy ski resort, but it's also
Yeah.
huge. It also spans across like I don't even know how many acres they have there. So for him to hit the one person
Oh my gosh.
that I know on the ski resort,
That
and I
is
don't even know
wild.
my buddy was riding up the lift with him and he was with two of his friends and the one kid goes, "Yeah, blah 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 hit someone today." And he goes, "No way, one of Jack's friends got hit
Got
today."
hit. Oh my.
And he goes, "Her name isn't Emily, is it?" And he goes, "I think it is."
So did they end up meeting each other post hit?
No,
Okay,
no, they
okay.
were Emily and that crew were already gone by the time that I found out.
Dad, did you
But
tell Emily?
no, I'm excited to tell her
I was
next
gonna
time I
say
see her in
that would be
person.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
That's
one.
story. Isn't that crazy though? Like so many coincidences like that.
I
Just
I have one
random
ski story. You definitely don't know this. So wait, maybe I told it on here. If I told it on here, this is gonna be super embarrassing.
We talked about skiing,
Did we
but I
talk
don't
about me
remember.
taking off my skis?
No, no.
Okay, I was like a young kid. I mean, I was probably like 10 or so, and I was like scared. Like my parents put me in ski camp for the day.
Mhm.
I feel like I told this. Maybe I didn't.
No, I
Anyway,
don't think you did.
so my parents put me in like ski camp for the day, and like they separated me and my brother, which I did not like. Like my brother was like
Why
in
would
the,
they do
I don't
that?
know, they were in like the 10-year-olds and I was like in the 8-year-olds or
Oh,
something.
oh.
So they take me in this like big gondola, and I am like hating this. I'm like, I'm going to the top of the mountain. I'm sick. I think I throw up. I definitely throw up. So now
Mhm.
they're like, all right, we got to get this guy like down the mountain, like this little kid down the mountain. My parents are like having the time of their life, like away.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And like,
That's why they put you in ski
yeah,
school.
in ski school.
Yeah.
I'm like in this like health tent at the top, just miserable. So my parents they like somehow get in contact with my parents. My parents come to this little tent, and my dad's like, all right, like time to go down. Like I'm gonna go down with you. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going down.
Oh
He's like, do you want to
no.
go down in the gondola? I'm like, nope, not going down the gondola either.
Just
He's like,
staying up there.
he's like, are you gonna ski down? I was like, nope. He's like, so what are you gonna do? So I took off my skis and I walked down the mountain.
You did not walk
I
down it.
walked down the whole mountain, and there was this guy. I remember this old guy. He kept skiing around me, saying, he's like, much easier to put on the skis. And I was like, I don't care. I don't know. I was like 8 years old, but that's my one
Where
ski
were
story.
you? Where were
I was
you?
in Utah at Alta.
Oh, you
Have you
were?
been to Alta?
Dude, no way you walked down Alta. I granted you were probably like on a
Yeah,
bunny
Bunny
hill, but
Hill. Yeah.
still. I was thinking you were up at for some reason I had this in my head that you were at like the peak of the mountain
Well, that's
trying to
in my memory.
yeah,
I'm at the peak of the mountain too.
you're walking down like a double black diamond like
Yes. Yes. But in realism, I was probably at the top of the Bunny Hill.
right, right. You took a huge gondola. It was like a little baby
Yeah,
lift.
it was like
A
a rare.
magic
It was the
carpet.
magic
It was a
carpet.
magic carpet. Was not even close to a gondola.
Oh, that is
That's
great.
unreal. Have you skied since then?
No, I don't. I maybe once, like the year after. I don't think so. I
Okay, so you've
water
never
ski. That's it.
water skiing. You don't wakeboard.
Never have wakeboarded. Never.
Okay.
I've done kneeboarding and water skiing. That's it.
Kneeboarding, that's a little bouncy.
It's
That's a
fun.
little
Not good
it
on the
is fun
knees
though.
though. Not good on the
Not
knees.
good on the knees, dude. They're just hammering, like your butt is just hammering into your calves. You're
Yeah.
just feeling your knees just the whole time.
No, it's not good. Not good for the
That is
knees.
not good.
Okay, I have one thing I need to vent about quickly. I woke up
Okay,
the other
and
day,
then we'll wrap it up.
and we'll wrap it up. I woke up the other day with a sore throat, and that is like the worst thing in the world. It absolutely ruins your week. Like,
I think that's one of my least favorite type of sickness. Sore throat,
yes.
worst.
And the worst part is I know exactly where I got it. I was at the gym, and I know I vent a lot about the gym. And this
Got it.
person next to me was literally like hacking up a lung on the treadmill. And I was sitting there running, getting so frustrated, and I debated walking out. I was like, I'm just going to leave. I was like, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick. I'm going to leave. And I was like, no, I can't leave. Like, I'm already here.
You can't waste an Orange Theory class,
I
man.
can't waste
Those
them.
are
They're
valuable.
expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
they are.
stay, and I'm like, man, if I get sick, I'm going to be really mad. And I woke up with a sore throat the other day, and I swear if you are sick, don't go to the gym. I'm actually genuinely a little frustrated right now.
Yeah, I know. I can tell.
Don't go to the gym. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why are you a hero that you need to walk at 4 miles an hour on the treadmill?
Were they
coughing?
walking too? Were they walking?
Yeah, power walker. Oh my gosh, ridiculous. We go 4 miles an hour on the treadmill. Great, and just
If you're
coughing the whole time.
if you're gonna go to the gym sick, like you gotta be. I think you gotta bag yourself. So it's like I'm here, putting in that work, even though I'm sick. Like, but if you're gonna just walk
Oh,
and just like scrape by,
that
just don't even go at that point.
that is one of the sickest, no pun intended, most disgusting human things someone can do is go cough on another person.
Oh,
Give like the fake vampire, like shut
yeah,
up.
yeah. Half of it's hitting you anyway.
Yeah.
Do you if you go to the gym, like say you went to a public gym, I know you don't go to one now, but if you were to go to a public gym, do you wipe down equipment that you use?
I'm wiping it down after. Yeah.
Okay. I only wipe it down if I leave sweat on it. Like
Yeah.
if there's significant sweat marks on it, but to be honest, I don't wipe down. It's so gross in there anyway. Like if everyone's picking up everything no matter what.
I'll say
I think
anything that I can get from like picking it up, and like there needs to be some sort of like hand washing / like, I don't know, shower to like prevent that. So I mean,
they have showers.
Yeah, like you gotta like no, I mean like a person. I'm saying like if you didn't wipe something and I touched it, likely I'm gonna shower before I get that sickness, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Versus
You
like,
think, though, dude, I see a lot of people touching their face in the gym.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying not to.
Yeah. Right.
But
you obviously did when you were at Orange Theory because of that person.
I say regardless, I feel like it was an airborne illness, considering like I think I felt some of the pellets, the little bacteria pellets, hitting me on this treadmill.
Went little couple in your ear, couple in the nostrils.
So foul. And you know what the worst part was? And I don't know what's worse. If we had a Twitter poll, we could do it right now. Yeah. What's worse, a wet cough or a dry cough? Like a chronic, because these were wet. Like I'm talking like wet coughs in my ear mid tread. You don't cough on the tread.
The thing I have about I think the wet ones might be grosser, but I think the things that gross me out about the dry one is it's so dry because they've been coughing for so long that it's dried out.
You know what's also irks me? You know what also irks me? And I guess now that we're just talking about illnesses.
Let's irk it.
The sniffles.
Oh.
Like this one? That one? The one people do that?
Yeah. Those are brutal.
Just leave.
Or when they do it and then they get like a piece of snot through and you can tell they swallow it back down. They don't spit it out.
That is too much.
Eat that.
Stop.
They just eat that.
We're ending it. We'll see you next week. That is too much info.
All right, last question before we go. If you were sitting at a job, I know you don't have a desk job, but what do you think the most annoying snack that someone could eat at their desk would be?
Okay, and most annoying, anything that smells. I don't want to smell anything. Like I don't want to smell your meal. I don't want to smell your tuna. Just like the airplanes, I don't want to smell it on the airplane either. But I think I would say maybe like chips, like hearing the crunch. Also hearing people hunt through the bag, like
that is you're gonna blow out people's ears, dude. Fucking the podcast.
That noise just blows out my ears when it happens.
Yeah, that's a fact. That is an annoying noise. I think mine might be an apple. I can just imagine someone
Oh,
sitting there and just enjoying their little apple, biting into it. It just drives me nuts. That
oh.
I don't want to visualize you eating your apple.
Wait, here's a good one. Here's a good debate here. Would you rather have peanut butter stuck on the roof of your mouth for the rest of your life or Cheeto fingers for the rest of your life?
Oh, dude, you gotta go peanut butter mouth because you can.
You're crazy. You gotta put gloves on with the Cheeto fingers.
What do you mean?
Maybe
I'm not wearing. You're wearing gloves your whole life,
you're walking around thirsty as hell your whole life.
dude. All right, imagine this. Like, say you go to a gala and you got to wear a suit and everything, and now you just got Cheeto fingers all over the place in a nice suit and stuff, and you can hide a peanut butter mouth.
Well,
You
when you
can't.
can hide a peanut butter mouth? You're telling me you can hide a peanut butter mouth? Excuse me, if you go to the gala and you're in a nice suit, maybe you throw on like a Michael Jackson glove, like a little sparkle. You tell me you're going to go to the
No,
gala and they're going to interview, say, Jack, how's the gala? And you're going to say, I got peanut butter.
then they're gonna. What about if they interview you and they're gonna be like, "What inspired the white gloves tonight?"
Yeah, I'm going to be like, speak with a normal voice. I'm going to say, I love Michael Jackson. It's a tribute to him or some other music star. You're telling me you're having that conversation with peanut butter on your mouth. What if the person's allergic to peanut butter? You just killed them. You just killed the interviewer.
I think I would have to revert to sign language at that point. I don't think I could. I don't think I could talk.
Little ASL, American Sign Language. They're teaching that in schools now.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's good to have some basic sign language understanding,
I think
like
that
some like necessary sign language, like hand gestures that everyone should know. I think that's actually a pretty good idea.
you know what? I think that it may be a pretty good idea to do a little quick recap of our last 5 minutes. We just went from peanut butter fingers to Cheetos to American Sign Language. Maybe time to wrap this thing up.
That's how you know we get along too well, when we can just riff for 10 minutes on random stuff. We and the thing is, last night we talked for an hour and a half too.
Yeah.
No problem. We were just spitballing, so we talk way too much on random topics, but it's good.
I love it.
It's a therapy session.
I love it. So today, a little recap, a little lighter day. We talked about bus trips. We talked about our first goals, some funny stories, and hopefully, to those listening, you guys enjoyed, and you'll join us again next week.
That's right. This is episode number 4 of the No One Told Me Hockey podcast with myself, Jack, my boy Fletcher. Check us out on TikTok at HockeyAid. You might see Fletcher around campus, local celebrity. So keep an eye out for him. You might see him in your local town. So we will talk to you all later. I will talk to you later, Fletcher. Check us out on TikTok, HockeyAid.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.